Ashley Bishop with Status Coup. John Farina and I are live on the ground in Newark, New Jersey. We are at Newark City Hall, where Mayor Ras Baraka is scheduled to be arraigned at 10 a.m. today. And as you can hear behind me, there's a large protest gathered in support of Mayor Ras Baraka, as well as in opposition to ICE. Baraka was arrested last Friday by federal officials outside of Delaney Hall, the ICE Immigration Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey, that recently began accepting detainees. Baraka was attempting to conduct a congressional oversight visit along with 3 other representatives when he was arrested outside of the facility. Again, that was last Friday. The Trump administration is reportedly considering arresting the 3 other representatives that he was with, Rob Menendez, LaMonica MacGyver, and Bonnie Watson-Coleman. Protests have been ongoing throughout this week in opposition to ICE and its disappearance of immigrants, as well as, again, in support of Mayor Ras Baraka. And as you can see, again, there is a large group of protesters behind me who are here in support of Mayor Ras Baraka and in opposition to ICE. And there will be a march scheduled at 5 p.m. today also, so stay tuned with us because we will be here for the march as well at 5 p.m. today.
That's
in Elizabeth, New Jersey, so nearby, not in Newark, but we'll be nearby on the ground at the march in Elizabeth today. So for some more background on what's been going on here, in February, the Trump administration agreed to a 15-year-long contract for $1 billion with GEO Group to convert Delaney Hall into a 1,000-bed immigration detention center to help meet President Trump's mass deportation goals. GEO Group estimates the 15-year-long contract will bring in roughly $60 million in revenue every year. So a lot of money they have invested in this immigration detention facility where people are being disappeared to. Baraka has been a vocal opponent of the facility, which he says lacks the proper permitting after the Trump administration essentially rushed it into operation. And again, Delaney Hall received its first detainees about 2 weeks ago now. At the same time, the White House is considering suspending habeas corpus, so the right to due process, the right to not be unlawfully detained and imprisoned. This could apply to immigrants, but it could apply to anyone else that the Trump administration has deemed that they have said something outside of the bounds of what they now consider protected speech, which is a class of speech that is rapidly shrinking. Meanwhile, Trump said that he doesn't even know that he believes in the right to due process. So again, John and I will be on the ground today covering all of this for you guys, so do stay tuned with us. There are some speakers that are speaking behind us right now, so we're probably going to turn to the speakers. But again, stay tuned with us because we will be here all day.
We are here today. The mayor decided to do his job. It's as basic as that. So I don't want to be any confusion. We are here because the mayor wanted to do his job. So when you are in a democracy where people start up, it means that we are in a chaotic process of the same country. For the past 30 years, American friends have been here in New Jersey, here in Newark, fighting for immigrants.
That's right.
And I want to go back a little bit on time to say, we fought for the county jails who were here in Essex County to shut its own door because we saw that they were abducting, they were facilitating the ICE detention process in our own city. We worked with our legislators to make sure that those jails were shut. It was the same in Bergen County, in Monmouth County, and in Hudson County. And we are going to continue to fight. Please remember, at some point, when people saw ICE, they would say, oh, they're just out there for immigrants. They're looking for immigrants. guess who they're after? Everybody. If they arrest our mayor, it means they can arrest anybody. So make no mistake, ICE is out there to arrest anybody. There's no distinction anymore. In fact, there was no distinction as far as I'm concerned. But we were putting out this message. ICE is not good for our communities. That's right. ICE is not good for our families. And I want to go back to some of the words that the mayor said when he was signing the so-called sanctuary resolution for this city, because we are here now in a sanctuary city. Yeah. And this status was enacted because of this mayor. And because this is sanctuary city, they want to bury our mayor. You heard some project right now in DC whereby they will no longer fund any sanctuary city. So go back and search all the Congress papers and you will see those laws that are being prepared, that have been submitted already. The mayor called ICE the slave catcher, the modern slave catcher. And by using these terms, he wanted to make the connection between the history of this country and what's happening today. My brother Larry Ham said it. And we need to be mindful that we are all involved. Either you are behind the camera or in front of the camera. Either you are in that house right now or you're sitting home. When you get home, tell your family that you stand for justice. Because AFC stands for justice. And we have about 30 attorneys on staff right now, representing people who are currently locked up, either here in Essex County, or in EDC, Elizabeth Detention Center, or in Moshannon, another jail facility that's in Pennsylvania, where some of our brothers and sisters are being kept right now. So, we are here to fight for the mayor, but we are here for a bigger fight. Yes. Yes. And as a member of the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice, a founding member, I must say, we are not going anywhere. That's right. We are not going anywhere. We are going to stand here until the mayor comes down and say, it went well. Because he's not supposed to be here at all. Thank you for listening. Yeah. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street.
When I say people, say power. People. Power. People. Power. When I say people, say power. People. Power. People. Power. Y'all, the federal administration says that our communities are dangerous. They say that we're leeches. They say that we're an invasion.
It's a lie.
That's right, that's the lie. Yes. But let's be clear, everybody. This is not about public safety or national security. This is about the Trump administration's white supremacist agenda. Yeah. This is about violating our constitutional rights. This is about them trying to wipe us out. But we won't let them. People who have done nothing but exercise their constitutional rights, from students to a mayor to members of Congress to us here. Our rights are under attack. And I would love to bring up Amol from the ACLU of New Jersey to share a few words. Can we do that for Amol?
Morning. Thank you all so much. Look, let me put this into some context. Just as Mayor Baraka was arrested and is being prosecuted and has a hearing today, the Trump administration is down in D.C. right now at the Supreme Court of the United States trying to end birthright citizenship. This is about much more than what we saw happen last Friday.
That's right.
The test of our democracy and the test of our Constitution is how willing we are to defend it. Not in times of comfort, but in times of turbulence. And the test of our character is what we're willing to do when our principles are violated. Not in times of peace, but in times of chaos and crisis. My friends, we're living through those times. And let me say, now is the time for American heroes. Now is the time for American heroes. Heroes like our clients, Mahmoud Khalil, Rumesa Ozturk, and Mohsen Madawi, and Badr Khansuri, who were targeted for their speech but refused to be silenced. Now is the time for American heroes like Judge Hannah Dugan in Wisconsin, who was arrested in retaliation for not doing the Trump administration's bidding. Now is the time for American heroes like Bonnie Watson-Coleman, Monica McIver, and Rob Menendez, who as members of Congress demanded accountability from the federal government for ongoing atrocities in their communities. And now is the time for American heroes like Ras Baraka, who put his body, his life, and his liberty on the line to fight back against the constitutional and human rights violations that may be happening in his own city. Thank you, Mayor Baraka, for standing up for our communities. Thank you, Mayor Baraka, for fighting for our rights. Thank you, Mayor Baraka, for fighting for every single person in these United States, especially the most vulnerable among us, including immigrant community members. Let's not forget what the mayor was fighting for. The Trump administration is executing its extreme anti-immigrant agenda right here in New Jersey. Right now, New Jersey is the epicenter for Trump's mass deportation scheme, with Delaney Hall being the biggest detention center on the East Coast. New Jersey is quite literally ground zero for due process and human rights violations. This is antithetical to the Jersey that I grew up in. That's not my New Jersey. My New Jersey welcomes all. My New Jersey stands under the shadow of the Statue of Liberty. My New Jersey lives by the words written on that statue, saying, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be breathe free." Now is the time for American heroes. Heroes like every principled New Jerseyan who says, we will not be complicit in the Trump administration's attempt to detain and deport our neighbors. We will not be complicit in the human rights violations that are occurring by the federal government here in Newark. We will not be complicit with constitutional and due process violations on our watch. We will not be complicit with making these people disappear because they disagree with our government. And we're going to stand up, fight back, and defend every single person's rights and liberties. The ACLU of New Jersey has been here, right here, centered in Newark, grounded in our city for over 65 years. And we're going to continue to be here for time immemorial. And we're going to continue to fight back until we see the day where everybody's rights, everybody's liberties, and everybody's freedom is protected and vindicated. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we not want it? Now! All right, let's go.
Thank you so much, Amol. Thank you so much to the ACLU for your fight and protecting our civil liberties every single day. We know that our democracy is under attack. We know that.
Yes.
And we're out here today, and we've been outside of Delaney Hall every single day since it opened on May 1st to demand the closure of detention, to demand that the people who have always fought for what's right, and for the people who stand here today and have stood outside of Delaney Hall every single day too, for us to fight for our democracy as we've done. I want to bring up some amazing faith leaders. Can I have Reverend Moasier come up to ground us in the moment?
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it? Now! Yeah, please. Yes. Come on. We are here representing, I'm Pastor Wasim from Stevens Grace Community right here in the city of Newark, and I'm here representing Faith in New Jersey, who is an organization, an interfaith organization with many congregations, many faith communities that come together to work for justice and to work for a dignifying life for our communities, for all the members of our communities. And these days, I know that all of you, we are feeling the weight of needing to be out there every single day, fighting for human rights, fighting for basic rights. And because of this, I thought I would bring a text from the book of Isaiah that says, talking about God, He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youth grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. That's our call today. We cannot be faint. We cannot be weary. We cannot stop. We cannot stop crying out for justice and for dignity. I just want to tell you one very quick story, which is directly connected to the fact that our mayor is incarcerated or is at a hearing, being persecuted. Not incarcerated yet. But about 2 years ago, I needed to renew the certificate of occupancy of our church. What did we do? We came right here to the city, we got the forms, we scheduled the oversight views, and we did the changes. We spent several $1,000s, and we spent a lot of time to go through all the stuff that needed to be done. It was a certain hassle, but I'm glad we did it because our church needs to be safe for the community that comes, that passes through it, that meets, that worships there. That's the law in the city of Newark. If we as a church can do it without any problem, why can the Lady Hall not do it? Why do they need to get the mayor in handcuffs and lead him away and now have him persecuted? Why? Because they feel they are above the law. It looks to me like we are governed by a felon. Yes. And who has surrounded himself with a militia that actually, instead of honoring the diversity and the greatness of our community, which makes us our God-given dignity that does not come from any powers or for our money or for how much we do or not do. The dignity that comes from our Maker, who makes us all in His image, in God's image. So let's not stop here today. This is just one more step, one more sign. Democracy means that we, the people, come out and say, what do we need? Justice. When do we need it? Now. Yeah, that's supposedly we are still living in a democracy, but I think we are kind of on the margin of it. So we are not going to stop because we are called to work for justice. Yes. And as Isaiah says, if we work for justice, God will give us the strength. Yes. The truth will make us free. So, dear brothers and sisters, our beloved neighbors are not criminals. You can only think that they are criminals if you never talked to a family and heard about the hassles and the suffering that they went through. And their commitment for their community and for justice and for what is right. If anything happens in this community, any kind of incident, people will come out ready to help, ready to share food, ready to share clothes, ready to spend the night. Isn't this kind of people that you need in a community to make it strong? So we need a lot of things here in Newark. Still, we are moving forward as a city. We need a lot. We need more parks. We need more places for leisure. We need arts and crafts and all kinds of programs in the city of Newark. But one thing that we don't need is a detention center and a militia to threaten our community and to terrorize our community. Yeah, may God bless you all. Thank you.
Reverend Dr. Robin Tanner, I'm among the faith leaders who were out in a sacred mass on Monday and were confronted with the brutality. We were confronted with the brutality and violence and lawlessness that is this police state that a felon, Trump, is trying to enact across this land. And so we understand very clearly, with moral clarity, that in the face of violence, we are called by the principles of nonviolence. In the face of hate, we are called by the grounding of love. And we stand with our mayor, understanding that Mayor Baraka today is every mayor in this country. We stand in Newark knowing what's happening in Newark, what's happening at Delaney Hall, the injustice, the violence, the hatred. Well, Newark is every city today in the United States. And we stand with no daylight between us, because we know that a people united will never be defeated. We are a people united. We are a people united across faith traditions, and no faith but called by the simple moral conscience and the demands of love that say every human being has worth and dignity, and you will not disappear our neighbors. You will not arrest our mayor. You will not assault our congressional delegations. You will not beat up, shove, push, and pull our clergy and our faith leaders. And we will rise again and again. And every single opportunity that you take for violence, we will take for nonviolence. And we will grow. This is just the beginning. In the end, every tyrant falls. And today the people say, no more. No more.
When I say people, you say power. People. Power. People. Power. When I say people, you say power. People. Power. People. Power. As folks who were up here today said, it is Geo Group that's breaking the law. That's right. Yes. It is the Trump administration that's violating our constitutional rights. That's right. If a faith leader is required by law to submit the required permits, why can't a multi-billion-dollar private global prison company do the same? Our faith leaders were out there on Monday and they were harassed. Our members of Congress were out there last week and they were harassed. Our mayor was out there last week, all of last week, and they were harassed. There was armed federal agents intimidating the people. Intimidating. We had elders out there. We had young people out there. We had black, brown, every person out there was out there with us. We represent the people. And if they do this to the people, we know what they're doing behind cameras. When no cameras are there, we know what they're doing. We're going to bring up some amazing advocates that lead workers' rights in our state. Can I have Ana Maria from 32 BJ come up? 32 BJ!
El pueblo unido
jamás será vencido.
El pueblo
Unido jamás será vencido.
I'm Ana Maria Hill. I'm from 32 BJ, SEIU. We represent over 15,000 workers here in New Jersey, 190,000 across the East Coast. Majority are black and brown members members of the immigrant community that are facing these kinds of harasses on a day-to-day basis. We want to thank Mayor Ras Baraka for his constant support to hold ICE and GEO Group accountable at Delaney Hall, because an attack on immigrant communities is an attack on our members and our families.
And everybody.
And everybody. I also want to recognize Mayor Ras Baraka not just for his words, but for his courage and his action on Friday. Standing up for what's right even when it meant being arrested. He has shown us what real leadership means, what it looks like. Standing with the people, standing with immigrants, standing against injustice. His actions sent a powerful message that our elected officials should be on the front lines with us, not behind platitudes. Let's be clear, the Trump administration's relentless attack on immigrants is an assault on our values, on our working people, on the backbone of this country. From cruel deportation policies to attempts to strip workers of their rights and dignity, those attacks were never about safety or security. They were about scapegoating and fear. At 32 BJ, our union is mostly immigrant, and we're proud of that. Our members are the immigrants that clean buildings like Essex County buildings, like schools, like universities, and train stations. They care for our children, they secure our schools, and they keep our economy running. They are not just part of the workforce, they are the workforce.
That's right.
They are essential and not disposable. As Service Workers Union, our membership looks just like this beautiful tapestry here today of black and brown people standing together. We fight for all working people regardless of where they are born.
That's right.
That's right.
And we know that when workers' rights and immigrant rights, they are deeply connected, and that when they're under attack, we're all under attack.
That's right.
Because immigrant rights are workers' rights, and workers' rights are human rights.
That's right.
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
And when human rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
The fight for dignity and respect and fair treatment knows no borders. We need more leaders like Ras Baraka, leaders who won't just speak about the justice, but be about it.
That's right.
And we need everyone, our union members, our community allies, our elected officials, to keep things running, to keep organizing, and to keep showing up. We will not be divided. We will not be silenced. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. GEO Group is a private corporation. They have taken the jail cell and they have used it to detain people.
Private.
They don't need to do that. We could be using this to provide workforce development spaces, community spaces, affordable housing. That is what our community needs. It does not need more black and brown people being locked up and held against their will. Denied due process and being deported to other countries that they may not know anymore. That is not our country. That is not our America. And we, 32 BJ, we stand with our community partners, with the People in Progress, with New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice, with Make the Road, because we know that alone we can't do this. We have to stay united. We have to stand together. Thank you.
That's right.
Our movement is strong because we are united by labor leaders, and Ana Maria reminds us of something that's incredibly important. What is the driving force behind undermining our constitutional rights and our democracy? It's money. They're making money. GEO Group is not a small little detention center a couple of blocks away. They are a $1 billion global company. GEO Group and Core Civic funded the Trump administration's campaign.
That's right.
And in return, he will go back and he will do their bidding. He will make sure that he is filling those beds because he can invoice for every single bed. We used to see that processing time at the Elizabeth Detention Center was up to 9 days. Now families are being transferred as quickly as 3 days. Delaney Hall hasn't even been open 2 weeks, And folks have been moved from there to Louisiana, back to another place. Why do they move them around so much? To invoice, invoice, invoice. The privatization of our country, of our communities, is what harm black and brown people. It is modern day slavery because it is a way to keep profits high and costs low. It is all connected. We need to be reminded of that work, that immigrants' rights and workers' rights and the fight for tax justice and the fight to defend leaders like Ras Baraka is connected. With that, I'd like to bring up Megan Chambers. What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
Thanks, Danielle. Hey, good morning, folks. I'm Megan Chambers with Workers United, Laundry Distribution and Food Service Joint Board, part of the mighty ACLU union, which we love. Our other co-manager, Alberto Arroyo, is here today, along with many leaders of our joint board, including the presidents of Local 617, Lorenzo Hall, and the president of 284, Marie Toussaint, and many beautiful others, and all of you beautiful people. But look, we know we're here to stand with Mayor Baraka because he was arrested standing up for all of us. He was arrested standing up for the laws of the city of Newark. He was arrested standing up for the laws of the state of New Jersey. He was arrested standing up for the Constitution of the United States of America. We stand with him. We stand against the abuses of the MAGA Trump administration. We know their attack on immigrants has nothing to do with crime prevention. We know that. We're not fools, but they're trying to.
Could totally been a record story.
Of all, Ras Baraka stood up for the civil rights of all.
Hey, it's Ashley Bishop with Status Coup. If you are just joining us right now on this live stream, John Farina and I are in Newark, New Jersey. We are outside of Newark City Hall, where Mayor Ras Baraka is was scheduled to be arraigned at 10 a.m. It's now almost 10:30, so we'll let you know any updates as we get them. But again, as you can see, there's a large protest behind me. There's a lot of speakers going on right now, again, showing up in support of Mayor Ras Baraka and in opposition to ICE and its reign of terror. Baraka was arrested by federal officials last Friday outside of Delaney Hall, the ICE Immigration Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey, which just began accepting detainees about 2 weeks ago. Baraka was attempting to conduct a congressional oversight visit at the facility with 3 other representatives when he was arrested. The Trump administration is reportedly considering arresting the other 3 representatives who were there with him, so Rob Menendez, Bonnie Watson-Coleman, and LaMonica McIver. Protests have been scheduled, again, in opposition to ICE and its reign of terror, and in support of Mayor Ras Baraka and in opposition to his arrest throughout this week. So we will be here for the rest of today. There will be a march at 5 p.m. today, which we will be at in Elizabeth, New Jersey, not Newark, so that is close by to New Jersey, to Newark. And again, there's a large crowd, and we are expecting there to be a lot of people at the march tonight. So if you can, please do follow John and I, where we will be on the ground at the march. So for some background on what's going on with the Delaney Hall facility, in February, the Trump administration agreed to a 15-year-long contract for $1 billion with GEO Group to open this 1,000-bed detention center again in Newark. GEO Group estimates that they will be able to bring in $60 million in revenue each year by opening this facility. Baraka has been a vocal opponent of the facility's opening since February. He says that the building is lacking the proper permits after the Trump administration rushed it into operation to meet its mass deportation goals across the country. So again, Delaney Hall received its first detainees about 2 weeks ago, and protests have been ongoing actually since it was announced in February. So these protests didn't just start last Friday after Ras Baraka was arrested. They've been ongoing since February, and if you haven't caught it, we do have some interviews that will be coming out that we did on Tuesday at Delaney Hall with protesters who have been out there this entire time. Again, so John and I will be on the ground today. If you can, please do follow us, and if you can, please consider becoming a paid member of Status Coup. We are trying to be on the ground when it matters, where it matters for you guys, and it costs us a lot of money and resources to be able to do this kind of thing. So if you can, please do become a paid member at statuscoup.com/join. And again, follow us for the rest of the day. John and I will be on the ground in Newark, New Jersey, covering the protest and march. And it's almost 10:30 now, so we do expect to hear something soon on Mayor Ras Baraka's arraignment. So again, stay tuned.
Fight for justice for ourselves.
That's right.
We fight for justice for the people in the community who can't fight for themselves.
That's right.
Who are afraid to fight for themselves.
Right.
See, they're trying to engender fear, and we have to fight against the fear that they're trying to engender ourselves. We have to show them the fight that they're wanting to penetrate way beyond the spaces. Some people are afraid to come to the very space that we're in right now. We're fighting for those who are afraid to come in spaces. Ashe? We're fighting for students who are afraid to even go to school. You see, as educators at a college, we have students both at colleges and universities and in primary and secondary school who are afraid to go to school every day because of the fear that's being created by fearmongers. The fear that's being created by fearmongers. So we have to be the ones who are willing to stand when others can't stand by themselves. So let's make sure that we continue to stand, we continue to fight and push to get Ras, all the charges dropped, and for all those other folks who are caught up in this system so that they're not moved around arbitrarily, so that families don't know where they are, so that they don't know where they are. They want to create confusion. It's not just about money, it's about creating confusion. And if we recognize the confusion that's being created, we have to fight the confusion. We have to see through it. I always tell my students, as a sociologist, we've got to question the obvious. Let's not just look at the surface of what's going on. What are the things that are being said and done behind doors that we don't even see? What are the lessons to be learned from the distractions that are going on? See, some of this things that we see going on, every day there's something new. I suggest to you it's a distraction. Make sure you look deeper to find out what really is going on so that we can see and be prepared for the people that we need to fight for. Continue to fight. Power to the people. Power to the people. They can't win when the people are standing up. Ashe, I want to bring on my dear friend, Dr. Janice Johnson-Dias, to say a few brief words.
Hello, everyone. I am here because I am the example of what this federal government does not want to happen. I am immigrant, I am woman, and I am invested in the freedom and liberty of all. And that is made possible because of the support of Mayor Ras Baraka. I lead the Commission on the Status of Women here in the city of Newark. I am a sociologist at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and I have been the dream of our ancestors come true. I, along with my family, have traveled across waters to be in America, the land of the free. And yet today, as we look around, that freedom is being taken away. I have been here for well over 30 years. I have helped and worked with students whose families also share that dream. And those people are now afraid. And that fear comes because we break laws. The law of this land is guided by the Constitution of the United States of America. And that Constitution says that no one is above the law. That America has no king. That the king is in fact dead and that the people are the ruler. As educators, we say to our children every day The power resides in you. You are the living embodiment of power. And the federal government, as it stands right now, wants to take that power away. But it cannot. It cannot if we stand up today and every day. If we stand as Ras stand to demonstrate what power looks like in everyday people. This country is made possible by immigrants. It is for immigrants, by immigrants. And no nation state can exist without the help of its immigrant. It is the lowest of us that will stand to be the highest of us if we come together. So today I want to thank you for being here for Ras. He has been a consummate hero. He has been the people's champion. He will remain the people's champion if we elevate him. I hope on June 10th you will select him as your future governor, as our future governor, because we need an educator to lead. This moment of anti-intellectualism, this moment where we say words don't matter, this moment in which we are trying to erode what is and to make it fake, this moment, we need the people more than ever. We need immigrants more than ever. We need each other more than ever. So let's stand up and let's support Ras Baraka and select him as our next governor of New Jersey.
We have Nadia now for the Bangladeshi community.
Hello, everybody. My name is Smita Nadia Hussain. I'm co-founder of the Bangladeshi American Women's Development Initiative. I'm also on the board of the ACLU. I am also a commissioner on the Asian Pacific Islander Commission of New Jersey. And let me tell you, I was there last Friday with so many of you, so many of our activists who were there protesting peacefully, exercising our First Amendment rights to support Mayor Baraka and our 3 members of Congress to do their jobs. They were delivering on the jobs they were asked to do by their constituents, by their voters. And we saw, and we just was released again, of him being invited in. Mayor Ras Baraka was invited into the gates. We all have it on videos from many different angles. And what did they do? They said you can't come further. He calmly walks away with Congressman Bonnie Watson-Coleman in arms. Okay, she's an 80-year-old grandmother, recent cancer survivor, black woman, black elected member of Congress, walked out, and what happened? We saw what happened. We saw them being manhandled, hustled, assaulted in front of our eyes. And you know what's interesting? When we see someone like Pee Wee German, right, Stephen Miller, saying things like, oh, trespassing, storming. I'm like, well, okay, whose side knows about storming and trespassing? You tell me. But apparently, it's okay to storm and trespass if you have a swastika on your shirt. But it's not okay to trespass if you're the mayor. It's not okay to, not even trespass, walk. Be asked to walk in a facility by the big mayor of the biggest city in New Jersey. And let me tell you, we saw those ICE officers. They were masked. They had heavy artillery on them. They looked like they were about to go into a war zone, right? I mean, we had no arms on us, nothing. We had our signs, we had our shirts, and we know that they were looking at us as the enemy. Why? Because we're black, because we're brown, and because we care about democracy. When I saw how they handled Mayor Baraka, how they handled our members of Congress, including 2 black women who were using their bodies, they were hugging Mayor Baraka to protect him. They ripped him out of their arms. They saw a black man. That's all they saw was a black man. And unfortunately, that is a history in our country. My family is from the country of Bangladesh. They came here, my ancestors came here in the 10s and 20s and were standing up for immigrant rights then. Asian Americans weren't allowed to come here. They were banned. They had a racist system. They were arrested. They were deported by a racist system. Why did that change? Because the black Americans who stood up in the Civil Rights era in 1965 passed the Immigration Rights Act. So guess what? We have always been here. We have always been fighting. And we're not going to stop fighting. We need leaders like Mayor Baraka standing with us. But let me tell you something. It is about the people. Change has never happened because of politicians. It hasn't happened because of money. It has happened because of people like us every day putting our bodies on the line, speaking out, coming out, never stopping, never despairing. Our ancestors did more with less during even worse and challenging times. We stand on their shoulders and we will keep fighting. Thank you all for coming out here, fighting with us today.
Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Musa Naji, and I'm here on behalf of CARE New Jersey, the country's largest Muslim and civil rights advocacy organization. I'm here to stand with Mayor Ras Baraka because his arrest was not for trespassing. His arrest was a direct threat to our community. Yes. It was a threat that if a mayor of the largest city of New Jersey gets arrested in his own city, then we all can get arrested. That's right. Yes. But the joke is on them, because our numbers continue to rise. If you look around, our numbers rise every day. Regardless of who they arrest, we will continue to show up, because we are showing up for our families, for our neighbors, for our communities. We are not showing up because there's numbers in detention centers. There are families. It is our friends. It is people we grew up with, people we work with, people we see every single day and interact with in the state of New Jersey. But I am also here to call on elected officials to do what Baraka did. There's hundreds of mayors in the state of New Jersey. Why is it only Ras Baraka getting arrested? Why is it that he is the only one standing for his community in Newark, when there are hundreds of mayors who their own constituents are the ones going to be arrested and placed in Delaney Hall? The responsibility is on all the mayors of every single city of New Jersey. That's right. Because it's not only the people of Newark who would be held in Delaney Hall. The detention center serves to hold immigrants from across the state. It is the responsibility of every mayor, every assembly person, every state senator, every congress member to show up in Delaney Hall, to lock arms together as our community has been doing so for months. It shouldn't be us on the front lines all the time. We will continue to be there whether they show up or not, but it is their responsibility. They are elected officials for a reason. We put them in their office to represent us, and the immigrant community needs to be represented. We are part of the community whether they like it or not. Their goal is to make money and to inflict fear on our communities. Our goal is simple: justice. And justice we will get. So what do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! Yeah.
When I say people, you say power. People. Power. People. Power. When I say people, you say power. People. Power. People. Power. All right.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Hiker. I teach political science at Rutgers. How many people here from Rutgers? Woo! Staff, students, any students here? Alum? Rutgers adjuncts represent about 2,700 adjunct faculty across the state of New Jersey. As you probably all know, Rutgers is one of the most diverse campuses, college campuses in the country. Newark, I think, is the most diverse campus. Its diversity is its strength. That's right. Immigrant students are its strength. Students coming here from foreign countries to earn a degree are its strength. For me, there is no more valuable job in this world than teaching these students, many of whom are the first in their families to go to college. They represent what is best about this country and what it has to offer. It is heartbreaking. It is immoral. It is criminal for the federal government to make these students and their families fearful of getting an education, fearful of speaking up, fearful of showing up, fearful of leaving their houses. I never thought in my 30 years of teaching here and in my 60 plus years of being an American citizen living here that I would live to see what I'm seeing now. And what we're all seeing, the disappearance of students, the abduction in broad daylight of human beings with no due process, the revocation of student visas for no reason. There is nothing more chilling than to watch a video of armed, masked federal police surrounding and terrorizing a student in the United States of America. That's what the Gestapo did in Nazi Germany. ICE is our Gestapo, and it's here in New Jersey. The arrest of Newark Mayor Baraka last Friday was shocking. It was disgusting. Mayor Baraka, as so many people have noted, was arrested for doing his job. He had been outside Delaney Hall every day, making sure that private facility was providing humane conditions for those housed there. He was trying to protect people, the most vulnerable people among us. And we all know why he was arrested. Ras Baraka was arrested and handcuffed because he was effective at calling attention to what is happening before our very eyes. That's right. That's why they targeted him, and that's why they arrested him illegally. He was not trespassing. He was standing up. He was speaking truth to power. Okay, now it's our turn. It's our turn. You ready? Mayor Baraka has shown us what we, civil society, all out here, need to do. The 3 members of Congress have shown us, right, what we need to do. We need to start putting our bodies on the line just like they did. Let's keep protesting, but it's time to step it up. It's time for us, civil society, to make this stop. It's time for disruption. Courage is contagious. Ras Baraka, Barney Watson-Coleman, LaMonica MacGyver, and Rob Menendez showed courage last week. Yes. Are we ready to do the same? Yes. Are we ready for some mass defiance? Yes. I am.
All right, thank you so much.
So, compas, estamos ya. Everyone, we want to make sure that we're receiving our mayor as he steps out. So I'm going to ask with the banner, if you can come a little bit closer to me, please, a little bit. And I'm going to ask if folks, right, by now, anyone who owns a TV knows who our city is and know who our mayor is, and we want to make sure that anyone with a TV knows that hundreds of people came out here today to support our mayor. So I'm going to ask if folks are on the side to please join us behind the banner. Please join us behind the banner so that we can receive our mayor in full force.
So let them know that the mayor's going to be coming out soon. Everybody behind the also, Alina is here. Alina, how about? Yeah. Okay.
So if you're just joining us on this live stream, this is Ashley Bishop. John Farina and I are on the ground in Newark, New Jersey, in front of Newark City Hall, where Ras Baraka was arraigned at 10 a.m. this morning. We are expecting him to come out in just a few minutes, so we're going to be reporting on his coming out and giving you an update on what happened with his arraignment. So please do stay tuned with us. And again, we are expecting that any minute now. As you can see behind us, there are protesters gathered and community leaders here that are here in support of Mayor Ras Baraka and in opposition to ICE and its reign of terror. So again, we are expecting to see Mayor Ras Baraka in just a moment.
Great job. I watch you guys. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate that. Interview anybody quickly, or do that guy?
So Brad, if you want to get Brad.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. They're going to continue a trial.
We're close to the speaker.
Taking the mayor in for additional processing now. So be patient and he'll be out eventually. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you just heard, Mayor Ras Baraka is in for additional processing right now, and he should be out, as the speaker said, eventually. So hang tight with us. We will update you as we have updates, and we are expecting him to be out at some point soon, so do stay tuned with us.
So, when immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When our mayor is under attack, what do we do? earlier that on Friday, when news broke that our mayor was arrested for fulfilling his responsibilities as mayor, that he was arrested by masked and armed federal agents. And within minutes, within hours, you saw mayors not just across the state but across the country calling for his release and expressing the courage that they would follow suit. Today we are joined by Deputy Mayor Kate Tridiano from Red Bank who's answering that question. Thank you, Nadia, and thank you to the activist groups that are here with us today. What do we do? I can't hear you. When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do? When your neighbor's rights are under attack, what do we do? When New Jerseyans' rights are under attack, what do we do? Everyone's a resident of New Jersey, period. I didn't know I'd be traveling from Monmouth County to Newark so often. I didn't realize I'd be there on Friday, and then after getting my kid to school this morning, that I'd be driving here again from Red Bank, New Jersey to Newark. You're welcome. You're welcome. As has been stated earlier today, this is the responsibility of every local elected official to answer the call. I also serve as a volunteer firefighter in Red Bank. And I think about if any private-run company came to operate in my town, regardless of their political beliefs, how my code enforcement would feel, how my fire marshal would feel. Nobody knows what's going on in that building. Do you know? Press, do you know? You're covering both sides of the story. Do you know what's going on in that building? And what about due process? Not even just for the mayor that's inside, which we have seen how the current administration wants this case to be decided by creating false narratives about what transpired in front of Delaney Hall. I was first in front of Delaney Hall back in the beginning of March with American Friends Service Committee. So when I saw the video, I knew exactly where he was standing and what happened. But don't get it twisted, this is about due process. Not only for the mayor, who's fighting a federal administration right now, who is trying to try this case in the court of public opinion instead of properly, but due process for everyone. You don't need to go very far to hear about what's happening right now. You can read Rolling Stone magazine online for free. Rolling Stone magazine is covering the illegal deportation of 2-year-old U.S. citizens with cancer. Did you just hear that? 2-year-old U.S. citizens with cancer being deported from America, being covered in Rolling Stone magazine. If that doesn't wake you up, what will? What will? Every single person who gets sworn into elected office swears an oath. We take that deeply. Red Bank may only be 14,000 people, but that is 14,000 people impacted by this administration, by these policies, by these unconstitutional actions. How would I look my neighbors in the face and tell them I haven't done every single thing I can to protect them without being here today? Do not get this twisted. Do not let them keep talking to you about, did he trespass? Did he not trespass? Did he trespass? Enough. The man was standing there peacefully. He didn't do anything wrong. He's trying to look out for everybody. We will not rest. We will not rest. And as the great Larry Ham said earlier, this movement will only grow stronger. They're creating a heavier rock to drop on their own feet. So don't let them say that this is just a North Jersey issue, or it jumps from North Jersey to the national. This is an every single person issue. Because guess what happens when there's no due process? What happens? They've already deported 2-year-old U.S. citizens with cancer. How much worse does it have to get, folks? How much worse does it have to get?
But this movement is going to win. We know that. Right? When we fight, we win. 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 Solidarity from Red Bank.
All right, give it up for Red Bank's Deputy Mayor. As we've heard here today, there is an attack on our democracy, y'all. There is an actual attack on our democracy. There's an attack on immigrants. There's an attack on black folk, brown folk, all of us. It's all of us. Delaney Hall has 1,000 beds. 1,000 beds, everyone. And we know that if they have the beds, they will fill them. They will fill those beds. New Jersey is fast becoming, if we're not already, the ICE capital of the USA. That's what we are now, and that's a shame. The people of New Jersey have made it clear that we do not want detention in our state, that we do not want ICE in our state. We've made it clear since 2021 when we passed a statewide detention ban on immigrant detention. We made that clear, and we've been making it clear outside of Elizabeth Detention Center, outside of Delaney Hall, outside of Union County Commissioners meeting. We have been outside of every place that you can think of to demand and say that immigrants are welcome in our state. We have made that clear. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. All right, y'all, I'm going to show y'all one of my favorite dances, and we're going to do it together. Ready? When we do this, I'm going to say up, up with liberation, and then when I do this, we're going to say down, down with deportation. Ready? Up with liberation, down, down with deportation. 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 Come on, y'all, they gotta hear you inside. Let's do it. Up with liberation, down, down with deportation. Up with liberation, down, down with deportation. Up with liberation, down, down with deportation. Deportation, up with liberation, down, down with deportation. All right, y'all. Give it up for yourself.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Standing on
Get out of the way.
I'm going to ask folks to please join me behind the banner so that we can receive our mayor in a safe way. I'm going to ask folks to please come behind the banner so we can receive our mayor in a safe way.
All right. Slow. Everyone, slow. Make way for the mayor. He will be up here. He will be up here.
Down in the front.
Let me get out of your way.
Down in the front. Down in the front. Please, sit down. Andreas.
Oh, come on.
No. Down.
Excuse me. I gotta back up. We're not gonna start unless people.
I would have been out here a little earlier, but they had to take my fingerprints and picture again. They took me in the basement and took a mug shot and my fingerprints again in the court. So I
cell phone down.
Did it twice. So they're trying their best to humiliate and demean and degrade me as much as they possibly can, but I still feel I feel like what we did was completely correct.
Yes.
We did not violate any laws. We stood up for the Constitution of this country, the Constitution of the state of New Jersey, and we stood up for the local laws that were put together by the people of this city and by the people of this state. The irony of this is that today the U.S. Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments on Donald Trump versus New Jersey and his desire to undermine the 14th Amendment of the Constitution to get rid of birthright citizenship. On that same day, today, USA versus Ras Baraka just begun a status hearing to talk about me trespassing on property which we believe is not federal property, but because we're just trying to make a private company follow the laws that we've established here in the city of Newark in the state of New Jersey. And because they believe that they're above those laws, that they can in fact, subvert them and do what they want to do without having any accountability or transparency. We believe that I was targeted in this. I was the only person arrested. I was the only person identified. I was the only person, they put in a cell. The only person that was in cuffs, and the only person that's here this morning going through this humiliation for these people. The real bizarre thing about all of this is that we are fighting about a document that was created hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It's called the Constitution of the United States. Which gives everybody due process, no matter who you are, no matter what language you speak, no matter what your background is, what your gender is, or who you decide to love.
that the Constitution protects everybody. Once you step foot on this soil, once you reside in this country, whether you document it or not, the Constitution protects you. That's what separates this country from every other country around the world. That we all have due process. That we all have we have the ability to face our accusers. We have our day in court. That we can have a trial by jury. That we're innocent until proven guilty. And that our persons and our paper and our property is secure and protected by the laws of this country. And you cannot just subvert that, undermine that, disregard that simply because you want to. I don't care who you are. You don't have the right to do that. You have the right to identify people based on their nationality, their race, or their language, and say that some people should be treated by the laws of this land and other people should not. This is wrong, it is unjust, it is undemocratic, it is unpatriotic, it is un-American.
That's right.
This is why we're really here today. This is not about specific people. It's not about specific people. It's not even about me. This is about systems that were put in place to protect all of us. Every last one of us. And there are individuals who want to ignore that or pretend that doesn't exist. And create a problem where we believe that we are each other's enemies. So you have people who say, how is this our fight? And they ask me, Mayor, why are you protecting immigrants? Well, and I've said it repeatedly over and over again. If you're not from the Choctaw Nation, or the Lenni Lenape, if you're not a Cherokee or Apache, then somebody in your family has come here undocumented. And if you are from the lineage of those people, then your status in this country is because you were born and naturalized in the United States. This is just a fact. And I'm going to tell you another point of history. This is a moral moment for us all. When Irish Americans came here, they were subjected to similar treatment.
That's right, that's right.
When Italian Americans came here, they were criminalized and subjected to similar treatment. When Jewish Americans came here, they were identified and subjected to similar treatment. But we know when black and brown working people in this country are subjected, our treatment is a little bit worse sometimes.
That's right, that's right.
And so what's happening here, they're targeting not just immigrants, but black and brown immigrants. As we watch these people take away temporary protected status for hundreds of people and send them wherever they want to send them, even places that are not even the country of their origin. And then take a plane to South Africa and bring Afrikaners here and say that they should provide safety and shelter for people in a history of what we know is apartheid, known as Jim Crow for us in America. This is just a fact.
Can you take a knee?
This is just a fact. And we have a right to say something.
That's right.
Now, I wasn't down there, no matter what they say, I wasn't down there protesting. But guess what? People who were down there protesting have a right to do that. They have a right to do that, and I have a right to talk to them. And I have the right to be in alliance with them. And I have the right to protect them. I have a right to speak on their behalf. The Constitution allows them, affords them a right to redress their grievances. That's just a fact. We cannot arrest people simply because they disagree with us. We cannot target people because their political views are separate from ours. We cannot subjugate people, take their pictures, mugshots, and fingerprints because we believe that somehow they're opposed to our position. That, ladies and gentlemen, is authoritarianism. That's what it is. There's nothing, no other way you can shade it, define it. I'm going to tell you. We had to wait to drop that video to show that I walked in there, but many people here had pictures and videos. You saw it. I'm going to tell everybody else that the Constitution also protects the freedom of the press. Because somehow the founding fathers believed that the press would protect democracy at all costs. They believed that journalists would protect the Constitution at all costs. They believed that they wouldn't be swayed by money or authority or power or be afraid by those in positions, that they would tell the truth with their video and their words and their print, that they would not cower under the pressures of what we're seeing here happening in this country. That they would tell the truth all of the time. And so it's our duty, our responsibility, all these cameras that I see, all these people that are writing, to tell the damn truth. It is your responsibility. That's why it's in the Constitution in the first place. Because everything should have a light on it. That's just the reality of it. Good or bad. Good or bad. Now, I know people thought I was going to come out here and talk crazy about individuals and speak about this person and that person, but that's not why I'm here. Because these issues are bigger than them. The things we're fighting for and against are bigger than those folks in there. Bigger than those attorneys, bigger than the U.S. attorney, bigger than all of these people. These issues are way larger than them. Despite what they believe and think, or positions or titles they hold, the Constitution protects them as well. So yeah, this is all of our fight. It's all of black people, brown people, Asians, whites, poor whites. It's all of our fight. Every last one of us. And anybody who doesn't believe that is wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I saw a post, and I'm going to sit down, I saw a post that said that we were defending immigrants and not people from Newark. But that statement is an oxymoron. Because immigrants are people from Newark. It's really an ignorant statement. And they need education because they say, oh, you're defending immigrants. Well, if you walk around the city, you'll see it's a city of immigrants. And they pay taxes here and reside here and work here and raise their children here and do it the same thing that everybody else dealt with here. And when and the person who wrote that, when your great-grandmother showed up here from South Carolina, from Mississippi and Alabama, on a train with everything they owned in a shoebox, with chicken and cornbread because they couldn't stop at Denny's to get nothing to eat because of segregation in the way here from the South. When they showed up here and washed other people's clothes and shined other people's shoes and cleaned other people's kitchens and took care of other people's children just so you could write this thing that you wrote on Facebook this morning. Shame on you. Because your great-grandmother, while she was fighting and struggling, was subjected to the same thing you want us to subject upon other people who they made you believe that you're not. This is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. These people benefit from keeping us divided. They benefit from keeping us divided. They benefit from keeping us divided. Absolutely. Let these people know they don't have a case. They should dismiss the case. They should dismiss it today. We're sitting there talking about where they should dismiss it today. Get rid of it now. It is silly, it's petty, it's unlawful. Get rid of it. You should not have it. You're not going to pressure me with this case. You're not going to push me in one direction with this case. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Let us do what we're supposed to do. Let us start doing what we need to do. Get rid of this thing. You know it. We know it. Your counsel knows it. Our counsel knows it. There's no real case here. There's nothing real here. There's no there. At the end of the day, let's shut it down. No more. No more. I thank all of you guys for coming out and supporting me today. I really do. I want to shout out the organizations that are here today. Obviously, Make the Road, 32BJ, South Carolina. New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice is here as well. And it's the People's Organization for Progress. All of the other elected officials that I see out here. I saw Mayor Mapp, Assemblywoman Tucker, other folks that showed up that day when I was arrested and showed up here today. I've always reiterated that, you know, that they actually locked me up for real. They put me in a real cell. They took my pictures, interrogated me, all of that. Though the officers in Homeland Security treated me with respect and dignity. I always say that because I'm going to give people what they're due. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't have been in there. That's right. I shouldn't be here today. That's right. God bless y'all. Thank you for coming out here today. I appreciate it.
Okay, so this is Ashley Bishop with Status Coup. If you've been following along on the live stream, you'll know that John Farina and I are on the ground in Newark, New Jersey, in front of Newark City Hall, where you just heard Newark Mayor Ras Baraka speak following his arraignment. And as you can see, there's a lot of energy from the people gathered here to protest his arrest and ICE's reign of terror under the Trump administration. And again, as you can hear, there's a lot of protesters and organizations here to support Mayor Baraka.
Congress can turn off the spigot and shut down places like Vito and CoreCivic. Our state electeds can pass the Immigrant Trust Act. And local electeds can follow the suit of our mayor and make sure that when the
So again, if you are just joining us on the live stream, there was Mayor Ras Baraka who just spoke after his arraignment in front of Newark City Hall. And there's still a crowd of protesters and organizations gathered here to support Mayor Baraka and protest his arrest, as well as ICE's reign of terror on our people and our communities. When Baraka was arrested by federal officials last Friday outside of Delaney Hall, the ICE Immigration Detention Center that recently began accepting detainees, he was attempting to conduct a congressional oversight visit at the facility along with 3 other representatives that the White House is reportedly considering arresting also. I think it's important to note that in addition to Delaney Hall, so the Geo Group owned ICE detention center that holds about 1,000 beds that the Trump administration signed an agreement for in February, there are other immigration detention centers in this area. So about 20 minutes away in Elizabeth, New Jersey, there is another detention center, the CoreCivic Detention Center, that is also in operation. And I'm going to read a little bit on this facility from the New Jersey Monitor, who has reported on this other facility. They say organizers who visit migrants jailed inside the facility said the conditions are unsafe and read messages from detainees reporting bad water, dirty uniforms, and no access to medicine or soap. Andre Berger, part of an organization that visits detainees, said because the Elizabeth Detention Center is used as a processing center, inmates aren't given some items like toothpaste until their 3rd day inside the jail. Detainees who criticize conditions are retaliated against by having their visitation rights or communication access revoked, Berger said. Governor Phil Murphy in 2021 signed a law banning immigrant detention, but CoreCivic, so again the detention center in Elizabeth, sued the state to remain open. A federal judge in 2023 sided with the prison company and said the state cannot ban the federal government from contracting with private firms to detain immigrants. New Jersey officials appealed the decision, but until the appeal is heard and decided, New Jersey is forced to allow places like EDC to exist, said Berger. So, while Elizabeth is not his city, if Ras Baraka is running for governor of New Jersey and his very public arrest is only going to help this campaign, I suspect, we would hope that he turns some of his attention to the other detention center that is, again, 20 minutes away from Delaney Hall. And more from the New Jersey Monitor. The Newark site may not be the only place ICE will house immigrant detainees in New Jersey. Documents obtained by advocacy groups last year revealed ICE is also going to open an immigrant jail at the Albert M. Bo Robinson Treatment Center, so also in Jersey, a 1,000-bed facility in Trenton. President Trump also wants to begin holding undocumented immigrants at military sites like Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst. So again, in New Jersey. So I would just repeat, if Ras Baraka is running for governor of New Jersey, I would hope that he turns his attention to some of these other fights that are going on around immigration detention centers that are operating in the same way that Delaney Hall is. So we are going to hang around here. We're going to talk to some people. So hang with us on this live stream. And again, later on today, there's going to be a march. So at around 5 p.m., there's going to be a march. We will be there on the ground. If you can, please do consider supporting us. We want to be on the ground when it matters, where it matters for you guys, and we need your support to continue to do that. So please join us at statuscoup.com/join. You can do that for as little as $5 a month, which is 16 cents a day. So not very much money. And doing that allows us to continue covering these things on the ground where we might need to just kind of pick up and go. So we need your support to do that. So please consider doing that at statuscoup.com/join. And again, John Farina and I are on the ground today. We will be on the ground all day in New Jersey, later on in Elizabeth. So stay tuned with us for that. Yeah, there's let's try to get some of the
Okay. I didn't think I did. I'm breaking my all of that is wrapped up in the whole question
Larry Ham's the chairman of People's Organization for Progress. This is Larry.
One more milestone.
And this is Vice Chair Adams. And the whole gang is towards City Hall.
Thank you so much. Good to see you guys. So interesting.
Okay, good. And we need to do away with private prisons. Why do we have private?
Did you want to do an interview with Status Coup and let us know why you showed up today?
Get the spokesperson. Sure, I mean, and the immiseration.
For Status Coup. It's Status Coup. You can find us on YouTube.
Yes. Okay. I don't know Status Coup. Okay.
We've been out here covering violence mostly. We do protests on the ground.
Immigrants' rights, and especially their right to be pulling on my back.
Okay.
What you doing?
All right.
Brother Calfani, keep me in mind.
Yes.
Let me know what's going on.
No, at this point, you'd have to come in the morning.
So I get plan B.
Yeah, you'd have to be there in the morning at 8:15.
My brother, I can. How you doing, man? Continua.
What's up, Larry?
We're going to City Hall.
Oh, you guys are leaving?
There's a follow-up meeting about getting the charges dropped against the people who were arrested on Monday.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Woman with the vote.
What? Another rally. Maybe a rally.
Excuse me. Would you like to talk to us with Status Coup about why you're out here today and explain your
Well, I'm out here with the People's Organization for Progress, and they're part of a coalition in support of the mayor and his false arrest and harassment at Delaney Hall. My sign is because I believe people should vote as
often as they can, as often as legal. And if enough people would vote for the, I want to say right things, but right things for them in their interests, then maybe things would be better than they are. Because we keep going 2 steps back to fight back to ground zero instead of trying to make progress.
Absolutely. And what else do you think that people can do besides vote? You are out here protesting in support of Mayor Ras Baraka. What else can people do besides vote?
If they're not in an organization, they need to join an organization and be active. Whatever they can do, every little bit helps. People think they have no power, but if people decide to act in a uniform action, then it means something. And people will listen. It's difficult, a solitary person trying to fight for a cause. But if you double that number and keep doubling that number, then to make people aware of the seriousness of the situation. You know, people are struggling to put food on the table or working 2 and 3 jobs, so maybe they don't have time to be aware of what's going on. But the thing is to be aware of what's going on. Even if you don't think you have the time and resources to contribute, you most likely can do something. Even if it's write a letter, drop a postcard, tell your neighbor. Everybody can do a little something to push things along.
Absolutely. And I would also ask, as far as the Trump administration goes and their actions, using ICE to silence opposition, essentially, is this something that you have seen before in your lifetime?
Not in my lifetime, but that's why it's important to study history, because it certainly has happened. It's happening faster, but that's why, the banning books and trying to ban history, that's all part of this program to try to dull people's senses and their activism. You know?
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would want to add for viewers of Status Coup?
There's a primary coming up. The deadline to register is May 20th for the June 10th primary. And I try to be nonpartisan. You know, you don't want to tell people who to vote for. Just encourage them to vote. Be informed and vote.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Now, where are you from?
We're from Status Coup. You can find us on YouTube.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate you speaking with us. All right, we're going to walk around and talk to some more people while we are here again in front of Newark City Hall, where Mayor Ras Baraka was just speaking. Yeah. All right. So, why are you out here today in front of City Hall, where Mayor Ras Baraka was just arraigned and then came out to speak with everyone?
Well, we're here to support his right, which is also our right to protest. And he was arrested. There's just no reason for them to have arrested him. He was just expressing his right, which is to support, the immigrants and everything that's going on, and to stand what he thinks is right. And that's why we are here, to support what we think is right, which is our right to express ourselves. Yeah.
And, for critics who have said things like they feel like Ras Baraka has come out in support of immigrant communities in Newark, but hasn't actually done anything for other people in Newark, what would you say to that? As I presume, a resident, how do you feel about that statement?
Well, everybody in Newark is, it's either immigrant or descendant of immigrants, and he's helping each other by just being here, showing that he cares about us. because the majority of people here, we're all, you're immigrant, you live in Newark, you're from Newark. It doesn't matter where you come from. We all from here. Yes.
And do you feel like the Democrats have been doing enough to fight back against, ISIS kind of reign of terror on the country? We've had people like now Ras Baraka, who was just arrested. This is a very high-profile event that just happened. We had Cory Booker give his 25-hour-long speech, but there hasn't been a lot materially that has happened. So do you feel like the Democrats are doing enough to meet this moment where there are so many things that are happening?
Definitely not enough. We only hear is just speeches and posts online. That's great, but we need action. We need legislation. We need them to be more proactive, not just go up and give a speech. And those things are great, but they're not doing really anything. So they have to be more proactive.
What would you like to see the Democrats doing going forward?
Try to block whatever legislation that try to pass. I mean, I know we don't have the majority in the Senate and the lower house, but do the best they can and don't make their job so easy. Don't make the Republicans' job so easily. Give them something to work for. They're just giving everything, handing almost everything to them. They just need to be more proactive, be more on top of things instead of just speeches, I think.
And as far as Ras Baraka goes, he is running for governor. And, this arrest is certainly not going to hurt his campaign for governor. I think there's kind of a feeling that this is a little bit of a stunt. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, anyone can get arrested. I mean, if there's only candidates that will say they will take that approach, they can come and try to get arrested themselves too. I don't see them doing that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, who gets arrested. What it shows me, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're standing up. Because a lot of people are just giving speeches and all that is pretty nice, but he's doing a little more. I mean, whether you like it or not, whether you support it or not, he's doing more. And I think I'm happy, he's here for us. He's showing us that he cares.
Thank you so much. Do you have any other thoughts that you would want to share with Status Coup viewers?
No, that I'm an immigrant, and like I said, we all either immigrants or descendants of immigrants, unless you're Native American, and we all have the right to be here. We're not criminals. The criminals are in the White House. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you speaking with us.
Thank you so much. And where I'll be able to see it?
We are Status Coup. You can find us on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube.
Oh, I'll take the picture of the microphone so I can remember.
Sure.
Status Coup. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
For being here. Thank you.
Yeah,
and
you too.
And you site it's like what? Like social.
We cover a lot of protests, a lot of protests, a lot of on-the-ground stuff. We also do a lot of kind of in-studio reporting on.
So a little of everything.
A little bit of everything, but do you have any sense of time? A lot of protests. That might just be great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Unless you don't mind me just standing talking for a while.
Do you want to do one last one with the organizer?
I would have to talk to my, everyone else in the organization. I really hope we
I was giving your card. Do you want to talk to Status Coup about what happened today?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry,
my name's Vidi.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about your media channel.
Yeah, we do a lot of on the ground protest coverage, that kind of stuff.
Cool. All right,
so we'll be here all day.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll be happy to talk to y'all.
Okay.
I always have to ask because sometimes back the right way.
We understand. Makes sense. All right, so I'm here with V of Immigrant Justice. Why are you out here today? Is your organization out here today in front of City Hall, where Mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, was just arraigned and then spoke?
Yeah, so since May 1st, Delaney Hall, it's operated by Geo Group, a multi-billion-dollar global private prison company. They started operating Delaney Hall unlawfully without the required permits. And since May 1st, our communities, our community activists have been out there peacefully protesting. Mayor Baraka has joined us out there, issuing citations for building violations. There's literally fire code violations in that building, and there's detained community members, detained family members in there. So if that building goes down, all the immigrants in there go down with it. And so we have been out there every single day. Our community organizations, our community members. I was there on the ground on Friday when Mayor Baraka was detained. I really want to make it clear that DHS agents, armed DHS agents, masked DHS agents, opened the gate. They unlocked the gate, opened the gate. It was Geo Group's employee who also did the same. They opened the gate up. They let Mayor Baraka in on the inside to join members of Congress. When he was told to go out, right, to leave, he did leave. They opened up the gate for him and they left, right? And so it was utterly surprising, but not at all shocking, that they then swarmed the mayor in front of us, right? We, the community members, we had elders with us. We had young people with us. We had, folks from all walks of life join us. And they did that right in front of us, right? They detained a mayor. They threw down one of my organizers to the ground, pinned her down, and then dragged away Mayor Baraka. So we're out here today, right, because if this is happening to a member of Congress last week, right, and this is happening to a mayor of the largest city, the most diverse city in New Jersey, right, this is happening to immigrants every day. Every single day this is happening to immigrants, right? And more than ever, we need more elected officials to stand up for immigrants, right? It can't be just Mayor Baraka being out there every day with us last week. It can't be Mayor Baraka being the one being detained like this, because Mayor Baraka is not just the mayor of New York, right? He is the mayor of the largest city, the most diverse city, and this is happening across the state of New Jersey, but also across the country, right? I really want to make it clear that this is not something that's happening in some black and white photo of 1960s, right? This is happening here in Newark today, 2025. This is happening now, and this is happening across the country.
And, I think it's probably not a coincidence that Ras Baraka has been a vocal opponent of the facility since before it opened. Yeah. So I guess I would also ask, so there is another detention center in Elizabeth, New Jersey, about 20 minutes away from here. Do you have any thoughts on that? And, Ras Baraka, he is running for governor. So I would wonder what your thoughts are on his focus on Delaney Hall. I mean, clearly Delaney Hall is in Newark. He is mayor of Newark. That makes sense. Do you have any thoughts on just the fact that, again, there is another facility that's 20 minutes away from Delaney Hall? Yeah.
Immigrant rights organizations, we've been fighting Elizabeth Detention Center for decades. Core Civic is the private prison company that operates Elizabeth Detention Center. Geo Group is the other private prison company that operates Delaney Hall, right? We have been protesting outside of Elizabeth Detention Center. We've been outside of Delaney Hall. We're even outside tonight at 5 p.m. outside of the Union County Commissioners meeting, because they're thinking of selling their county jail to ICE, right? To a private prison company. They have not confirmed to the people that that's not going to happen, right? We as a movement have been outside of these detention centers for decades, right? Members, elected officials are listening to us. Finally, after years, in 2021, it took years for us to pass that statewide detention ban, to end detention in New Jersey. And now it's being challenged by the same companies that own Elizabeth Detention Center, that own Delaney Hall, right? They are literally challenging the values of the state of New Jersey. More than ever, our communities have been standing up. Elected officials need to stand up with us. We know that Delaney Hall has 1,000 beds. Elizabeth Detention Center has hundreds of beds. If Union County opens up a detention center in their county, 2 miles away from Elizabeth Detention Center, we're going to easily become the ICE capital of the USA. New Jersey is fast becoming it. So our movement, it is not done, and we will keep fighting until there's no more detention, no more immigrant detention centers, no more deportations in the state of New Jersey and across the country.
And do you think that the Democrats have been doing enough to fight back against this? Like, this is kind of their moment, right? They've been leading up to this, warning, very vocally warning people that Trump's new reign was going to bring in fascism. Now that it's here, do you think they're actually meeting the moment as far as people's material needs on the ground, fighting things like Delaney Hall and all of these other things that matter to working people?
We need more elected officials, right? New Jersey, here in the state of New Jersey, we're fighting for a bill called the Immigrant Trust Act. It would create critical privacy protections for immigrant community members so that their data isn't shared with ICE, right? So that anytime they go to the library, anytime they go to a healthcare facility, anytime they go to school, right, they feel safe and confident accessing those resources and those services and those programs. But right now here in the state of New Jersey, there's no movement on that bill. Despite everything that's happening with the detention centers, there's no movement on that bill. And now more than ever, we need people to push their state legislators to pass the Immigrant Trust Act, to sign on to the Immigrant Trust Act and champion that bill, because that is the immigration rights bill of the state of New Jersey. That's it. And we need more people more than ever to stand up to it, because right now legislators, they keep saying to our faces that they're not hearing enough from people, that they don't know if this is an issue that people care about. But we know, we've been out here, we've been outside Delaney Hall, we've been outside of all these detention centers, and we hear and we see the communities literally living in fear from leaving their house. So more than ever, we need the Immigrant Trust Act, and legislators at the state level from all parties need to stand up for immigrant justice.
And for someone like Ras Baraka, who again is running for governor, what would you like to see him do? I've spoken to other people, on the ground who have expressed that they feel like he has not done enough for other people, that they feel like he has not done enough for them, that he's standing up for immigrant communities to the exclusion of other people. What would you say to someone who feels that, and what would you want Ras Baraka to do as he is again running for governor? So things like the Elizabeth Detention Center run by Core Civic, those will become under his jurisdiction now.
Sorry, I have something in my eyes. Detention, like I said, New Jersey's fast becoming the ICE capital of the USA. We need more elected officials to stand up. Like I said, it can't be just one mayor and 3 members of Congress just showing up to a detention center that is being unlawfully operated. It can't just be them. And we as a community have been out there. There have been dozens of us, hundreds of us, thousands of us that have stood up to the mass deportation, Trump's mass deportation agenda, right? And we will continue to stand up against that because, as I said before, and as a lot of activists and a lot of community members have said here, and elected officials, they came for a mayor. They came for members of Congress. They're coming for immigrants. They have been coming for immigrants. And they're going to continue coming for immigrants. But it's not just us, right? It's everyone. They're coming for everyone. And that is what we're up against, right? They are trying to pit our communities against each other, but we will not allow that. And we have been standing up for our communities, and we will stand together united because we know that together we are powerful.
Is there anything else you would want to add for viewers of Status Coup on any of this?
Yeah, I'd say, the last thing I'll say is what's happening here in Newark, what's happening here in New Jersey, it's going to happen all across the country, right? The Trump administration is trying to make an example out of us, but we, the people of New Jersey, we, the people of Newark, we won't stand for this. We won't stand for this, and we're going to fight back. And we are fighting back. So please join us in that fight. The immigrant justice movement, the racial justice movement, the social justice movement, the movement itself needs more people more than ever. Yeah.
Is there anywhere that people who are in New Jersey can find your organization?
Yeah, so I'm with the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Blue Sky. Anywhere you can think of, you can find us. Please sign up for our member, our spotlights and newsletters, and you can get up-to-date, updates from our organization. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you speaking with us. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. All right.
Some members, I think.
Yeah. All right, guys. We are going to close out in just a second, but before we do, I think we have some new members. Hang on. one second. So we have new Status Coup members, Max and Michelle. So welcome, Max and Michelle. We appreciate you being here with us. All right. So, again, Max and Michelle, new members. Thank you guys for joining us. So we are going to close out this live stream. Again, John Farina and I have been on the ground in front of the City Hall in Newark, New Jersey, where Mayor Ras Baraka was just arraigned and then spoke to the protesters who had gathered in support of him, in opposition to ICE, in opposition to his arrest last Friday at the Immigration Detention Center in Newark, Delaney Hall. So again, thank you guys for watching us. If you can, please do consider becoming a paid member of Status Coup. As you can see, there aren't a lot of other, indie outlets out here today. It's John and myself. It costs us a lot to be able to do this. It takes a lot of resources and time and people to do this. There are Jordan and Colin and all of our other people behind the scenes working on this to help get these live streams out. So it takes a lot. If you can, do support us. Anything that you can do does help. As little as $5 a month, that helps us out a lot. So again, please consider becoming a paid member at statuscoup.com/join. And we will be out here for the rest of the today. So we're going to close out this live stream, but we will be in New Jersey. So we're going to be going to Elizabeth, where there is a march scheduled at 5 p.m. today. So we will be there at 5 p.m. So come hang back with us at 5 p.m. and we will show you what's happening on the ground in New Jersey. Thanks again for watching. We will see you guys soon. Bye.